Hey, folks, if you're joining me for this series of videos, over the course of these 4 videos, I've decided to grab or cover the top 4 questions relating to difficult students. And I do that in inverted commas. If you're in the webinar, you know what I mean by that. What's difficult to me might not be difficult to you, and vice versa. So I wanted to cover the top 4 questions. This video is going to relate to the top question, the most voted question, which related to students are there because they have to be. They offer nothing and give nothing. And this is a tough one. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of this question. Yes, it was most voted, and I've been there before. I've been in a few training sessions, particularly early part of my career, but not that long ago, not too many years ago, where I've been in exactly these situations. I used to run a few courses with a public sector client. I won't mention the client, and many of them were compulsory attendance for many attendees. And we would have people coming in. I would have people coming in to that literally with the metaphorical ball and chain. You know, you could see that they were disengaged from the minute they walked through the room. Now, there were reasons for that, and we might explore some of that in the video. But really, when I read this question, I wanted to share with you really 3 things to maybe help you with that situation where you've got students that are disengaged. Maybe they're disengaged from the minute they walk in the door. They offer nothing, they give nothing, etc. So the first thing I wanted to say to you is work with the majority. So I will always try to, and it's a philosophy that I embodied many years ago, at least halfway through my career, is that I will try to work with the majority. That doesn't mean that I ignore the disengaged student, but I accept as a trainer that some students will be disengaged regardless of what I do. Now, obviously, I'm trying to reduce the number of students that are, in fact, disengaged. And I don't want too many, but I accept the reality, the statistical reality, that some people will be disengaged. And I try to work with those, and I'm primarily speaking to those that are engaged. The other side of that is if I can get the majority on side, I'm more likely to get the minority on side. I'm going to invoke what's known as the bandwagon effect. So if those disengaged students see other people, similar others, getting involved, getting excited, getting engaged with the training, then they're more likely to get on board. So at least in the first instance, I don't worry too much if I've got a few students that are disengaged, or in the situation I gave you before, there were often many people that would walk through the door, half the class that would be disengaged from the outset. I don't want these videos to go for too long, so I might give you a second tip here, and we'll cover the third one in a little bit of time in another video. The other thing I wanted to share with you here is just look. I always look inwardly. If I've got disengaged students in the class, maybe they're arriving disengaged and they're staying disengaged, my default is to look inwardly and say, well, am I really providing a different experience? Am I providing a reason for these students to engage? Now, in my situation I provided you before with that public sector client, there was a lot of history with that training, and those students were very, very used to a lecture style of training delivery. That's what they thought training was, and historically, that's what it had been. Now, that isn't my style, and so it was very easy, and not easy, but it was not outside of what I normally do to get people involved and create a point of difference. So the last thing I want to be doing is doing what they're used to, which is disengaging them in the past. So I suppose there's a bit of a reflection for you. If you're having disengaged students that aren't engaging with you, they offer nothing, you can have a think about, okay, well, am I working with the majority? Am I accepting that some people won't be engaged from the outset. That's okay, as long as the number isn't too high. And also ask yourself, well, am I providing a novel experience? Am I doing something different that warrants these people getting engaged? Or am I not an engaging trainer? And no one wants to admit it, but there are, from time to time, we come across trainers that aren't that engaging. Something to think about. I hope that's of use. Fairly general question, a couple of general responses for you to think about there. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.